Alrighty, so let's talk about some environment-based jobs. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about and you are just joining us on today's video, please head on over to this video, give it a watch. I help introduce this topic of what to look out for when you are an autistic person looking for a job that's more sustainable for your neurology, your nervous system, your specific skill sets. As someone who may be dealing with cyclical burnouts again and again, working different types of jobs, and none of them tend to suit your needs, you don't know what those needs are, you don't know where to start. I help introduce this topic to you, help introduce this framework to you, and it makes it easier for you to watch videos like this if you know that foundation first. In today's video, I'm going to help explain what environment-based jobs look like, and I will also give you guys examples of what environment-based jobs are. Like I've said again and again, these examples are not black and white. It's just giving you a baseline to work off of, because oftentimes as autistic folks, we are very literal thinkers, so it does help to get those examples just to know the ballpark of what I'm talking about. And once you have those examples, you'll start to think about other things that I may not mention. Usually that's where you find your answer is, oh my God, that reminds me of this thing. I wouldn't have thought about that before, but oh my God, I thought about it now. That's what I'm looking for. And the advice that I have to give, you're meant to take intuitively, mold it however you need to suit yourself, your needs better, and to pick and choose what works for you, leave what doesn't. And with that being said, let's jump into it. So environment-based jobs on the surface sounds very confusing to pin down because I think people-based jobs is really obvious. You want to focus on the types of people that you would get along with and feel at peace with. Process-based jobs is also pretty self-explanatory. You want to prioritize a job that allows you to fully tap into your monotropic focus and to get your tactile skills met. Environment-based jobs is more so about atmosphere, energy, and being able to synthesize with that atmosphere, that energy, that environment, and flow with it. So it's almost more about your ability to be regulated and be stimulated by everything going on around you. So as you can see, that is less definitive, and it's more so about a bunch of different factors working together to synthesize. When you're thinking about an environment-based job, you want to think about that: stimulation, regulation, flow, and accessibility. Those four main things, right? Examples of environment-based jobs is working in the greenhouse or working in a plant nursery. So objectively being outside, working with plants, soil, being in nature, or at least if you're working indoors in a greenhouse or whatever it is, you're working with actual organic things. That environment, being surrounded by organic things, working with organic things, is very regulating for neurodivergent autistic nervous systems. It's peaceful, it's regulating, it's its own ecosystem, right? Think about that word, ecosystem. Ecosystem, environment, you want to be able to feel at home, feel in flow with the environment, with the ecosystem, with the atmosphere, the energy of these places. It's not just about the thing that you're doing, it's about the stimulation of everything in that ecosystem, the sounds that you're hearing. If you're working with plants, if you're working with nature, being able to hear the wind, the birds chirping, all of that stuff throughout your whole shift may allow you to feel a lot more regulated as an autistic person than, let's say, working in an office with fluorescent light. You see what I'm saying here? The next job is being an arborist or a tree worker. I think you guys are going to start to see a common theme with these sorts of suggestions. It's going to be very closely related to nature and organic things because, again, autistic nervous systems are wired to respond well with and synthesize with organic stimulation. So for us, hearing, let's say, water from a creek, hearing birds chirping is the perfect amount of stimulation that regulates our nervous system than, let's say, working in a building, hearing all of those machines have that high-pitched buzzing sound, or seeing the strobe lights flashing on and off. The next job is being a field naturalist or a conservation field worker. I don't know what those things are, so I'm just putting it out there. If you are someone that works in that field and you watch my videos, please enlighten me, enlighten others on what that consists of. Another example is a textile studio worker, so weaving, dyeing, sewing. You could also work in an artisan studio, so creating your own space or co-op. You could also work in a museum or gallery installation as a staff. Again, being in a museum, being in a gallery is a very specific type of environment. It has a very specific flow. It has a very specific everything. So because it is very specific, that does tend to suit autistic needs better, because you have to meet it and everyone going to it has to meet those standards. And so there's more predictability there, more flow there, more intentionality there, and we tend to work better with that sort of environment. You could also be a landscape designer or a gardener. You could be a small scale farmer or herbalist. You could work in animal care, whether that's an animal sanctuary or an animal enrichment work. You could also work as a music producer or a studio technician. You could also work as a scenic designer in theater or film. This one is a very underrated one that people don't really know about, but I have a very specific relationship with it because I went to an art university. So I was actually around people who went to school to be a scenic designer, and seeing what their job would consist of honestly was so stimulating and interesting for me, because they would get a project, for example, where they had to build a set for a movie or a film, and the set would be, let's say, creating a room that a 40-year-old single man would work in, and they had to make the set as realistic as possible. And just little details like that, and like creating an experience, an atmosphere, visual, it is like, I don't know, it's just very suited for a lot of autistic brains and creativity and all that kind of stuff. Another one is being an immersive experiential designer for a museum exhibit, escape rooms, installations, theme parks. As you can all see, all of these jobs that I just listed are very much so about the experience, the environment, how it all synthesizes together and makes sense for you to be fully immersed into it, right? These are examples of environment-based jobs, and again, are very suitable for us as neurodivergent people. And it's not necessarily about the job itself or the people, but about the actual atmosphere, the space that you're in and inhabiting, and how that regulates you, how that works with you, your nervous system, your body, your brain, all of it. So with that being said, if I didn't mention an environment-based job that you guys are thinking of or that you guys work in, please feel free to share that below and explain why that works for you. That will be an amazing resource for other neurodivergent folks who might be similar to you but are struggling to find an environment-based job that works for them. Give as much information as you want. Why does it work for you? How did you get into it? Or what type of schooling did you have to go through to get into it? Why do you enjoy it? All that good stuff. Again, information is power. Information is a resource for marginalized people like us, and it could make the world of a difference for people like us. It could be make or break for people like us. So let's really chip in here and share our experiences. This is a safe space to do so. Let's uplift each other. Let's inform each other. Like I always say, make sure you guys stay regulated, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.